Hi, I'm Harvey Briggs, the editor and publisher of Rides and Drives, and today I'm just outside of Nashville, Tennessee, driving the all-new 2023 Toyota Crown. Yes, it's called the Crown. That's a nameplate that Toyota's had since the 1950s, but it hasn't been used in the United States since 1972. This full-sized elevated sedan is going to replace the Avalon in Toyota's lineup, and it's going to be available to buy in January of 2023. So Crown looks a little different than a traditional sedan. You'll notice that it almost looks like a four-door coupe with this sloping rear end. The other thing that's interesting is the paint. In this platinum trim, you can get this two-tone, or I think they call it bi-tone paint, with a black top and whatever side body color you want. The other thing I like about this car is the 21-inch wheels. These are the largest wheels ever on a Toyota sedan. And when you come around to the front, you'll see all LED lighting. You've got these triple beam headlights, a very sleek horizontal hood line, and it makes it feel a little more aggressive than the Avalon it's replacing. The Toyota Crown is all new for 2023. It's a very different car from the Avalon for a lot of really good reasons. First of all, it's taller. They call this an elevated sedan, and I guess that's true. It sits in between a traditional sedan and now the crossovers that we're seeing so many of. Super easy to get in and out of. The seat height is very high, so if you have trouble dropping down into cars or you don't like stepping up into an SUV, the Crown is a really nice option for that. The other thing about the Crown is every single one of them has a hybrid powertrain, and every single one of them has all-wheel drive. Now there are two powertrains for this. The XLE and the limited models have a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated four-cylinder engine, and then they have the hybrid electric motors paired to that. It is basically a front-wheel drive car until the conditions get wonky, and then the rear motor kicks in. In the Platinum version of the Crown, the engine is a 2.4 liter turbocharged engine, and it has that dual electric motor and a little more power in those, and it makes 340 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. So if you're looking for the performance version, then you want to go up to the Platinum. Not only does this engine have more punch than the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated engine in the XLE and the limited trim, but it also is smoother, it's quieter, it's just a much more sophisticated feeling power plant. You have a number of drive modes. Again, in the XLE and the Limited, you have Eco, Normal, and Sport, and that really just adjusts throttle mapping and transmission shift points. In the Platinum Edition, you have a bunch of drive modes. You've got a Eco mode, a Comfort mode, which this has variable adaptive suspension, so the suspension here is very smooth. Then you have Normal, and then you have Sport, Sport Plus, and you can customize this as well. And because this version is also a 6-speed automatic transmission as opposed to a CVT, you get much more aggressive shifts and performance out of this car. Toyota says it will go 0 to 60 in 5.7 seconds, which is pretty quick for a mainstream sedan. One of the things about this Hybrid Max powertrain is it puts power to all four wheels, and it can do it independently. So when you go into a corner, maybe a little more quickly than you thought, it will drive the outside rear wheel a little harder, which helps push it through the corner. In the XLE and the Platinum trims, it is definitely a soft, compliant, comfortable car. And when you go into corners a little quick, you'll feel it push. You know, you'll feel the body roll in the corners. If you're looking for something that's more interesting to drive, then you're going to want to step up to the Platinum trim and the Hybrid Max powertrain. If you set it in Sport Plus, the steering tightens up a little bit, the shifts come a little quicker for this automatic transmission, and the suspension tightens so you don't have quite as much body roll in the corners as you do when it's set in comfort mode. Yeah, I'm out here just outside of Nashville on some nice twisty little roads in the fall, and you know, for a sedan with a fairly high center of gravity and you know, a lot of mass, I think this is 4,300 pounds, it actually handles pretty well. You're not going to confuse this for a BMW 5 Series. Styling on this car is pretty interesting. Like a lot of cars now, you've got this sort of four-door coupe design. It's not the three-box design we're used to from a sedan. It feels like it should be a hatchback, but it is actually a trunk. The trunk itself has 15.1 cubic feet of storage space, which is a fair amount, but another good thing about this car is the rear seats are 60-40 split folding, so you can put a lot of things in the back if you need to. So mileage is one of the important things to talk about in this vehicle. In the XLE and the limited trims, you get 41 miles per gallon combined, which is phenomenal for a full-size sedan. If you go to the Hybrid Max, where you get the more performance, the mileage cuts significantly, but it's still 29 miles per gallon combined, which again, for a full-size sedan is pretty good. Pricing on Crown starts with the XLE at $39,950. The Limited starts at $45,550, and if you get this Platinum version with the Hybrid Max, you're going to be at $52,550 to start. So here's my take on Crown. It's, you know, it's kind of a premium feeling car for somebody who doesn't want to drive a premium brand. It's probably going to be a really popular car among people who are maybe even a little older and want a car that's easy to get in and out of. Still has a little bit of that high seating position feel, but doesn't want to go to the full SUV experience. What I think this car is really about is somebody who wants all the creature comforts, but doesn't need the status of a Lexus badge or a BMW badge. And you know, there is a lot of good stuff in here. The technology with the new Toyota interface is really good. The voice activation on this works well. You have a 12.3-inch touchscreen where you can navigate everything. They've done a nice job of keeping the physical switches and buttons that I look for in a car like this. So, you know, changing the temperature in the car is super easy. Audio system in this is an 11-speaker JBL system with an 800-watt amplifier, so there's plenty of power to push the bass. You're just not getting some of the, you know, high-end like theater mode or concert hall modes that you get in some other cars, high-end systems. You have a 12.3-inch instrument cluster as well. So that digital instrument cluster changes depending on what drive mode you're in and all of that, which is really nice. Legroom is great up front. The seats are very comfortable in this trim level, as you'd expect. They're not only heated, but they're also ventilated. You have a heated steering wheel. You've got all the safety tech, Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, and that includes, blind spot warning, rear cross traffic alert, automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection. You also have lane keep assist, fully adaptive cruise control that'll take you to a full stop. So you can use that in traffic jam situations, which is really nice. They don't have any autonomous driving at this point, nothing akin to Ford's Blue Cruise or GM's Super Cruise yet. If I were going to suggest to Toyota that they could do a few things differently, one is the 2.5-liter naturally aspirated engine. It, for a car that wants to feel premium, is a little loud, a little rough. There's a lot of vibration when you, accelerate from a stop up to 60 miles an hour, and it feels a little intrusive. At cruising speeds, it's fine. And then, because of this high seating position, especially for someone like me who's 6'3", while there's headroom here, it just all feels a little bit claustrophobic. That's one of the reasons I have this panoramic sunroof open. That's one of those things that you'll have to get in it and see how it fits you. So why should you consider a Toyota Crown? Well, I'd say it's for that person who really doesn't want to go to the SUV and have all that bulk around them, doesn't need the versatility of a crossover most of the time. This has the all-wheel drive you're looking for. It gets great fuel economy. It's very comfortable and quiet riding until in the base trims you stomp on the gas pedal, and then it gets a little rough. But it's a really nicely done and complete package. You start thinking about what else is available in this category of full-size sedans, and there's not a lot of options there in mainstream vehicles. The Ford Taurus is no more, Chevy Impala is gone. So if you want that larger full-size sedan, this is pretty much the only game in town.
So that's the 2023 Toyota Crown. Tell us what you think in the comments. For more information, check out ridesanddrives.com and make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. For Rides and Drives, I'm Harvey Briggs, and I'll see you somewhere down the road.